What's up, y'all? This Go Rose, and I'm back with another video. Happy Pride Month to all my Pride members. I love you guys and love to share the, love. Love is love, and everybody should be able to love who they love and just share, their personality, share themselves, and be who they are, and be proud to love who they want to. Today I'm here. I have a video. This is my coming out story. It's kind of interesting. It's not too bad. I don't think personally it's not. It was a little nerve-wracking for me, but it wasn't like, as dramatic as some people's stories. It's not as bad as some people's stories. Everybody's story is different. So I'm just here to share that with you guys today, and I hope you guys like the video. Like, subscribe, click the bell, and let's get right into it. Also, stay pure, personal, and share the positive vibes. Just a side note, if you hear any excessive breathing, or you hear a sigh or whatnot, or chewing or sniffing, that is my dog. She's in my room right now. She's still a puppy or whatnot. She's only 5 months, but just a side note, if you hear any of that, that is her. But let's get into it. So this was the day. It was September 19th of 2018, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's the exact day. I was dating somebody, and we had been talking for a little bit, not too long, but not too short either. We had been talking for a little bit, and I wouldn't say I had like a DL stage, but I wasn't. Like I did for a little bit, but it wasn't long. Like, most people, they do it for years, maybe 2-3 years. It was kind of like a monthly thing for me. So September was when I came out, and I started talking to dudes in about May, for sure. For sure, one dude in particular. But anyway, it was September 19th of 2018, so 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. And I was with my significant other at the time, and we were just driving around or whatnot, and we had talked about, me not being out, and, just wanting to come out, wanting to be comfortable and whatnot. So we were riding around, and I remember us stopping somewhere, and he was getting a haircut or something. And then we ended up going downtown. And when we were going downtown, and I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna just do it. Like, I don't want you to feel like you're a secret. I don't want you to feel like, I'm embarrassed of you, or I don't want to be, like, I don't want you to be in my life. Like, I don't want you to feel like, I'm ashamed of who I am, because I'm not. It's just, I had to build myself up so I can be ready to do it. So he was like, well, how do you want to do it? I'm like, I don't know about in person, because I was really nervous, really just like heart coming out of my chest. Like, I'm like, I don't know how to say it. Like, I don't know what to do. He was already out with his family and stuff, and so it was like, so how did you do it? So I was asking, trying to get some info on what I should do, and kind of just like trying to calm myself down. So we're driving around or whatnot, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just text my mom. So I remember texting her, and I was like, I'm not sure how to tell you this. I like dudes, and something of the other sort, and like, this is the last person I'm in love with, or something like that. Like, this is the last person. At the time, that was the last person I expected to be in love with. So I texted her, and I want to say, like, immediately after she called, like immediately after, I don't remember what she said. She was like, what are you doing, or something. I was like, driving around. She was like, you need to come home. I'm like, okay. So still driving or whatever, kind of nervous. I'm kind of like taking the long way home, and I was just like, I don't know. I didn't know what to feel. I didn't know what to say, because she didn't really mention it on the phone, even though she called right after. She was like, you need to come home. And I'm like, oh my God. So then also, when I'm driving here too, then my dad called. He's like, where you at? I'm like, driving. He's like, you need to come home now. I'm like, fuck, like, what do I do now? So I'm driving, still taking a long way, like taking all these extra routes. I think my dad ended up calling me again, like, you need to be on your way, like, where are you at? I'm like, okay, you know what, fuck it, just go. So I eventually get home. My mom's sitting on the porch. She had tears in her eyes, but she wasn't crying. It was just like, you know, it's a thing that we do, just wiping her eyes out and stuff like that. I'm like, I walk up or whatever. Mind you, my significant other at the time is still in the car, and I didn't park in the driveway. I kind of parked on the curb on the side of the house. So I walked up and she's on the stairs, and I'm like, Mom, why are you crying? Because I didn't know at the time. I'm like, what are you crying for? She's like, I'm not crying, da 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 da. She was like, so how do you know? Like, and I'm like, I don't particularly know. It's just like, right now, this is what I'm feeling, and blah, blah, blah. And you know, most parents give you like, it's a phase, or, you know, she was like, you know, it's not something that I agree with, but I'm gonna love you regardless. So she told me that. Backtrack a little bit. My plan was to tell her, and then like, for her and me to eventually tell my dad. I did not expect her to immediately tell him. So when I found out she did, I was just really shocked or whatnot. So yeah, so then my dad comes outside. Pissed off, angry face, like, just like, I've seen him more angry before, but I guess from what they told me, it wasn't something that they saw signs of or expected, which really confuses me to this day still now. I'm not like, you know, feminine or anything, or like just out there, but the only reason I get confused is because some people say they knew already, and there's people like my parents and some of my friends that say they would have never guessed, like they would have never guessed. But yeah, that's just why I get confused. Anyway, so he was mad, and he goes to say, oh, you know, it's something that I don't agree with, and you know, it's a sin or whatever. He did say, you know, no sin is bigger than the other, but that's just something he does not particularly agree with, and you know, he wasn't going to be accepting of that, and I didn't expect them to be accepting of that, you know, that same day. You know, I knew it was going to be a process for them to grasp and for them to get used to, but he just wasn't accepting of it. He was really pissed off, actually. We shared a few words or whatever. It wasn't like an argument or anything. I just let him know I didn't care, that he didn't accept me, and things like that. Sorry, I'm moving the dog. She about to hit the camera or whatnot. But that's just honestly what it was, and that's kind of how it went. My aunt was also there, the lady who was in the last video. She was kind of defending me at the time because he was kind of getting aggressive and things like that. So we, like I said, we argued a little bit. It wasn't like anything physical or anything of that nature. But that's kind of how that day went. And then, mind you, like I said before, the dude I was with at the time was in the car. My dad's like, so is that the one? Is that the dude? And he kind of looked over there, and I was like, yeah, and I kind of just looked away. And then my dad proceeds to get in his car and drive off and look to see who's in the car. And he's like, you need to take him home. And my mom's like, yeah, take him home and then come right back. So after all that stuff, I ended up getting back in the car, taking him home. He gets out the car, and then I kind of just start bawling. Like, my eyes are bawling out, like, I just started crying. Then he gets back in the car, you know, gives me a hug or whatever, like, it's okay, you'll be fine. You know, they will eventually open up to you, and, you know, you'll get through the process. It's kind of like how it goes. But then I dropped him off, went home, and stupid dog. I dropped him off, went home, and well, I came home, and I kind of just went in my room, and then I started to pack a bag. And
what do you want me to do? We've been here less than a week, and I feel like it's a year. I hate it here.
And I remember my aunt came downstairs like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm not staying here, not with all that energy or whatnot. And she was like, well, you can come with me. You don't have to worry about staying here or whatnot. But then eventually I had calmed myself down and just went to sleep. The dude at the time helped me get through the night or whatever, and, you know, talked to me and, you know, helped me cope with what I was dealing with at the time. But that's kind of like how it went. And it wasn't, I can't say it was the worst thing that I've dealt with in my life. It wasn't the best thing either. It was just, I'm nervous I was just really nervous at the time when it came to being open. Like, I have maybe 2 people in my family who are are a part of the LGBT community. That's it. And then, you know, I never came out publicly, like on social media or anything. It kind of just rattled as I was in that relationship. I would post pictures with the person that I was with, and kind of like people just found out. And then like recently, my grandparents found out. As far as I know, I don't know when. I never told them. My parents told them, and then they asked me, and then I told them. Everybody in my family knows now for sure. Like 2 years, I know my uncle, they don't care. My aunts, they don't care. My cousins, as far as I know, they don't care. Like, we still all communicate. There's like no one in my family that does not accept me or does not. There's no one in my family that does not accept me or does not, you know, communicate with me because of how I am. I mean, I didn't, in my opinion, I didn't really change. I'm still the same person, still act the same. Nothing's changed. Sorry, y'all. I keep looking outside because somebody just pulled in my driveway, hit the fast, and I'm like, who are you? But anyway, like I said, everybody in my family accepts me for who I am. You know, I'm not any different. I'm not like flamboyant or anything, which there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just not that way. But that's pretty much my coming out story. I guess it took about, as far as I know, it took about like 1.5 years for everybody to know. Stop. It took about 1.5 years for everybody to know, so take that over there. It took about 1.5 years for everybody to know, as far as me knowing that they know, but nobody's had any issues. Everybody's like, you know, just be you. I don't look at you any differently than what you've been, and you don't have to hide anything from me, and that's just what it was. If you hit that stand one more time. So that concludes this video. Happy Pride Month to everybody and all of the Pride members out there. Enjoy yourselves. I know that there's not like a Pride parade or anything right now because of COVID and things like that, which really sucks. I've honestly never been to Pride of any sort, Black Pride, White Pride, Hispanic Pride, Latino Pride. I've never been to any Pride, but hopefully at some point I will attend one of those. And I just hope that I enjoy myself. I'm not very out there, you know, I'm more of a homebody, but I hope to go to enjoy myself. Once again, happy Pride Month, happy Juneteenth to all of my African American family members out there and all of you. And that concludes this video. Stay pure as possible. I get a little personal as you just seen in this video, and share positive vibes. I'm out.